Hello, the Fallen Dragonite here again, and today we are looking at the Arcade Classics Centipede machine. Now then, I used that word before. The Arcade Classics series has quite a few products in it. Yes, the same exact line as this little building block one that we made last video. Apparently, Arcade Classics is a brand that is being made by a bunch of different companies. The little building block one is from C3 Connect, and they also have like building block versions of the classic arcade characters. There's also, I believe, some vinyl figures, and this arcade machine here is made by Basic Fun, but it's all the same umbrella licensing brand of Arcade Classics. I believe there's also some more traditional LED style arcade games, like a Tiger Electronics stuff, but we're looking at something that's more like an actual arcade machine. And first off, we'll look at the artwork here, which looks a lot better in person than on my camera because it's a little washed out from what I'm looking on my viewfinder. And this is a sticker, but it's a nice vinyl sticker. Much like the Bad Dudes machine, these are sticker details, but the stickers on here are vinyl. They're a lot more high quality than on the Bad Dudes machine. And as someone who's bought from Reaper labels before, I definitely know the difference between a regular sticker and a vinyl sticker. The marquee is also a vinyl sticker. This is also a vinyl sticker. And this section right here is a vinyl sticker, and you can see the reflection of my hands on the screen. There's a bit of a glare there. Anyway, the plastic is kind of nice feeling. It's not as nice feeling as the Bad Dudes machine, but it's good enough. As you can see, there is the battery compartment. It comes with 4 AA's. I believe it's 4 AA's, or yeah, I think it's 4 AA's that use. There's a slot here where the paper tab is. When you pull it out, when it's in demo mode. When you pull it out, it goes to the standard mode. And I believe this is a reset button here. I don't know why, because it doesn't save your highest scores when you turn it off. Speaking of, you got the speakers right here, which if you look on the little one, there is a speaker right there next to the coin slot, and here is the faux coin slot, and it's just 2 red buttons, which, to be honest, I feel should be a little higher up because it would make it look a little bit more like coin slots. But see, we have the on and off switch here. We have a volume control here. There is loud, very loud, and mute. That's all you get. As for the buttons themselves, and you can see I have a few things there for later. Buttons feel pretty nice. The joystick, however, while it feels nice to move it around, the plastic on the joystick doesn't really feel all that great. I can feel a mold, basically a line right here from the molding. Anyway, without further ado, we'll turn this on. Nice spring to it. As you can see, this is not the arcade ROM. This is the ROM made specifically for the machine. Now then, there's no attract mode either. It says by Basic Fun on there, licensed, of course, and we'll just hit start, and yeah, as you can see, we can just mute it. Oh, there is a quiet on this. But I've heard these things only had 3 volume settings, so I thought the mute was actually the final volume setting. I am playing this behind my viewfinder, so it's a little tricky to actually get. Yeah, you can also move up if need be. The problem with Centipede in terms of the realism of this machine is that if you've ever played the original arcade cabinet, you know that this is moved by a trackball, not a joystick. But again, it's something that had to be done at this scale. So then, now that we've taken a look at the machine, which did a pretty good job of emulating the arcade game, let's take a look at some scale comparisons. Here we have a Scout class transformer, Rumble. He's a little small for it. Doesn't come up quite as high unless he was like on a stool or something. Let's get another transformer out here. Rodimus Prime. A little tall for it, I'd have to say. Needs to be a little shorter in order to actually be in scale with that machine. Let's try the Battle Maid, which I used on my Bad Dudes machine, and she is pretty much in scale. I mean, the buttons are a little low, but it just needs to be raised a little higher, and it kind of would be in scale. So there's that. Next we have Mumra, the Ever-Living. This is a Funko Savage Worlds version. And he surprisingly fits in scale. I mean, he's kind of tall, but he's supposed to be a very big dude, and his hand actually would be in position for the joystick. That's actually a fairly decent scale there. Now let's try something else before we're done here. I have my little Telos figure. And to make this a little bit more fair, let's bend this up so that the base doesn't give her that extra 1/4 inch. And I think it kind of fits. The screen's a little too big for her, but then again, gotta go with what you got here. Anyway, with that said and done, that is the look at the Arcade Classic Centipede. Buttons feel good. These are okay, but whatever. I do like the vinyl sticker. These are, of course, self-powered. Sadly, there's no alternate way if the batteries run out to power this, because the Bad Dudes machine, I think I forgot to mention this in the review, but the Bad Dudes machine can actually be powered by USB cable if need be, but never came with one. Marquee doesn't light up like the keychain did, but that's all well and good because some sacrifices had to be made to make this accurate. And all in all, I'd say a worthwhile version of an arcade machine. So, what other versions of this are there? I know there's Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. I mean, seriously, almost all of these miniature arcade machines have Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. I do recall there's a Galaga that came out with this recently. Again, all three of the ones I've reviewed so far have a Galaga version. Rampage, which I would really like to get my hands on because I liked Rampage as a kid. And let's see, what else? Q*bert. And the Q*bert joystick actually is a cross instead of left, right, up, and down. It's horizontal, which is really nice touch on the joystick to actually have that. There's Asteroids, and I believe there's Frogger. Let me look here, because all the ones in this guide have been made into machines like this. Let's see. Yeah, Space Invaders. Yeah, there's a keychain of Space Invaders too. Frogger, Asteroids. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And there's also one very sought-after one of this series, and that is the Fix-It Felix Jr. Yes, they actually made one of these based on the arcade game from Wreck-It Ralph. And it actually works. It actually is a fully licensed Disney product, and if you ever wanted that arcade game, yeah, you can actually own a little arcade cabinet of it. All in all, these are cheaper than the My Arcade ones. They don't feel as good. They look fairly good on the shelf. In fact, as you can see, the cabinet itself is a little bit shorter. It's not as blocky, which makes it a really good display piece, but it is kind of wide. But all in all, I say this is a nice little thing to have on your shelf, especially since they are fairly decently playable. Oh yeah, there's also a joust of this too. So before I forget, yeah, there was also a joust. I was trying to bid on that and wasn't able to get it. But anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, there's only one of these mini arcade machines I got left to review. Might also do another Let's Build before that, but until then, I shall see you guys next video. Later.